Rudy Gobert is, he's gonna fall off the map sooner or later because we have
Ooh.
a better carbon version of him already. That can shoot and do much more and comes from the same place. So I don't know. I never rated him, bro. And honestly, I don't even really
Why?
care much. I don't know. He's not an offensive like I think you need to be able to produce in so many different ways when it comes to being an NBA player nowadays. And he does a lot in his categories, but he could do a little bit more. Like there's only certain ways he's going to score the basket. If he had a little bit more game to him, he doesn't seem like much of an NBA player. He just seems like a guy that can do two or three things very well. And that, to me, is going to be an extinct type of NBA player very soon, right? Everyone's going to have the skill bar is going to be here, right? And Rudy's a little like he has some skills, but he's been put in the position to be successful for most of his success. I think that's what he does. He's tall. He's lanky. He defends and blocks shots. That's probably what he does on his own. But the offense comes from like the offensive sets. Like he's not gonna go and get you a bucket. Like you're not gonna put the ball in his hands, kind of thing, right?
But you don't have to. But like you don't have
You
to.
don't have to. You don't
his
have to.
his defense and his the effectiveness of his defense on teams have made teams not be able to score as much. So his scoring, it's not like we have to outscore these guys because they're scoring so much points. Like typically he's been on a good defensive team where it's like the points of the other team are kind of lowered enough where it's like, okay, we don't need you to score 20, 25 points a game. You know what I'm trying to say? And even with Wemby, like, do you want Wemby to play top-notch defense and offense in the same game? Like, do you want to get a center beside Wemby so he can play more of an offensive role, or do you want Wemby to kind of be that? Because I don't know if you want Wemby to be the opposite of Rudy Gobert, where he's doing everything on offense and everything on defense. You know what I'm trying to say? Like that might hinder his offense a bit, just in the sense of being tired and having to be there on defense. Like superstars in the league now to kind of take time off on the defensive end.
Yeah, there has to be a healthy medium. There has to be a healthy medium,
right?
Too.
So my bad, no, because I'm just saying, and I think that's why Minnesota works well, because you kind of have that fake twin tower, so to speak, because you have Cat, who's not really good at defense, but he's good at offense, and then you have Rudy Gobert, who's great at defense, but not good at offense, and then that's why they're one of the better teams regular season wise, anyways, in the NBA this year.
Yeah, but you see, this is my point. Like it's fine and dandy now. It'll get you a pass now, but it ain't gonna get you a championship, and it ain't gonna get you a championship in the next few years because the amount of errors a team can make now is becoming smaller and smaller. So if you're gonna become an offensive liability, they're gonna just make sure like Rudy Gobert is gonna be the one that's taking the shots. Like there's gonna LeBron did say something on his new podcast that made sense because he's gone through the years where he's seen like the game change from post game to kick it out, pass the ball, pass 3-4 passes, get that open shot, and then fast running gun offensive. And he admits to not having none of that. He's not like that 3-point lethal shooter. He's not like the big guy pounding in the paint, Shaq kind of thing. So, but like smartness is always gonna trump those things, right? So I think Rudy Gobert is not a liability until they make it a liability, and it's gonna come out in the playoffs. It won't come out in the season kind of thing because you're on the road, you're playing 30 other teams, you can't focus on T-Wolves right now, like you know what I mean. But when it comes to a 7-game series, that is gonna become one of the look Ben Simmons, right? Another example. I'm just saying that he needs to have the option and the ability to do it so that it can't be exploited.
Got you.
Right? Because eventually it will be exploited. Now, Wemby, since he can do both, if you were to give him even like a fake twin tower, make the other guy do a little bit. If they can both do a little bit of it, you're going to be like, oh, can't go this way. Wemby's here. Oh, can't go here. DeMarcus Cousins is over here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like you're really taking away all the X and O's that like the other team is left with. Like, let's just hope we could shoot the lights out this game. You know what I mean? So it's go ahead.
Sorry, no. But do you need five perimeter shooters though? Because what if Minnesota has Rudy at the 5, and then 1 to 4, everybody else can score. Like, does everybody on a team have to score, be able to shoot from 3?
For most,
Is that
I mean, he doesn't have to necessarily be the guy that shoots from 3. I just think honestly, I think he's just not much of a skilled player. I think he just does 2 or 3 things very well, and it's great for what they asked for him. But if it ever, and like, sure, there's 4 other players on the team, they can, carry the offensive load kind of thing. But what happens when, like, you're gonna play Boston and like you have Jaylen Brown guarding you, and then Jason Tatum guarding you, and then like 3-4 stretch 6'8", 6'9" guys that will lock you down and make you shoot threes, and then like they don't really have to worry about Rudy Gobert, so they can focus their 100% of their attention on 80% of the people.
right?
That's gonna skew things a little bit, and when it comes down to like the small X and O's, 1 point here and there in the playoffs,
It matters. It matters.
All right. So we'll see, because they're gonna play, when it comes down specifically the T-Wolves, they're gonna play Ants a certain way, which is gonna force these other people to play a certain game. And if they have their personnel right and be like, oh, don't worry about so and so, he can't do this, that's gonna make it harder for Ants and so to perform well in the playoffs. So unless they have those 45 50-point games consistently, shooting 40-50% from the field consistently on those game 5s, game 6, game 7 days, then cool, it will work, right? But
don't you need defense in those games? I swear game 7s are not shootouts.
You're gonna need the defense.
Like, they're not shootouts. People people get tight in those games. Like, like shots that people are supposed to hit, they're not hitting. You know what I'm trying to say? And I think Rudy Gobert, although he doesn't have the offense, what I'm trying to say, I think his defense kind of offsets the offense a bit.
His net value is there because he's not giving up as much as he's giving you.
Right.
Like, he's not giving you 25, but he's not giving up 30 in the paint.
Right. So what I'm trying to say. So and then that whole team is good. Nas Reed, Kyle Anderson, even Mike Conley. Like, they're all good defenders. And it's like I feel like, and that's why they're kind of one of the best, like, better teams in the regular season, because those guys kind of hide that weakness of him being able to score, maybe 10 points, 12 points, 15 points, whatever. I agree with you in the sense that, yes, when it comes to the playoffs, you need offense, obviously, to win games and stuff like that. But sometimes when you're just that defensive team, like, I know it's old school, but like Detroit Pistons, 04 Detroit Pistons, they won off defense, Ben Wallace couldn't even hit a free throw, bro. Ben Wallace couldn't even hit a free throw. And then they got Rasheed Wallace at the trade deadline to kind of stretch out the offense a little bit more because of, Ben Wallace clogging up the middle. But, who did they beat that year? They beat the Lakers. They beat the Lakers, what I'm trying to say? And